You are what you eat. What are you? Weird pickle. I bet that's delicious, innit? A little salty, though. Something's gotta be the salt of the earth. I would think that would fall to salt. My name is Mason. Welcome back to Ask EmKay. And let's jump in. What is a fashion trend that you can't stand? Too much fake tan. The orange look. I hate that a few influencers decided to wear Champion and Carhartt clothes, and now they're so expensive. This! Went to a thrift store the other day and found a cropped Harley Davidson hoodie for $49.99. I'm not kidding. I think that Goodwills and thrift stores have forgotten their purpose, which was supposedly to help the community and offer affordable used furniture and clothing. But because of influencers, now it's trendy and even thrift stores are hiking their prices. Women's shirts that have some dumb saying on them like wildflower or some shit. I just want a t-shirt. For real. I just want a solid color shirt. But whenever I go out to find one, they all have flowers and some stupid ass inspirational quote on them like brave or fierce. Off. Clothing doesn't need to say anything. Edit. Thank you for all the suggestions. I do currently wear men's shirts, which looks great. I will also check out plain t-shirt section at hobby stores. How many times I should have died and didn't, or near deaths that I was unaware of. It would be interesting to know how many times I avoided death and didn't know indeed, because that would be a lot greater than about the deaths I avoided that I notice. I got at least one time almost crushed by a falling tree due to my own stupidity, but for the time I spend in forest with a chainsaw around me, that number would be higher than one, I suppose. I'd want to know if I beat any records that I was unaware of. Also, if there are like any coin flip what ifs where I was very close to going down a completely different path in life. How many times I've almost died doing dumb shit. Totally. How many times in all those wild nights out when I got drunk and drugged and partied with strangers I was about to get in serious trouble, but didn't? I was a regular party person from my 15 to my 28 years old, and I never felt in trouble or in danger or even discomfort. I danced and smoked pot and drank cocktails and flirted with everyone without a worry in the world. My spider sense is non-existent, and I own my adult existence to the sheer luck of the foolish. What is slowly ruining all movies? I don't know how to describe it exactly, but lately I've been seeing a lot more movies where the only way to really describe the structure is stuff happens. Like, I don't feel like I'm experiencing a story, more a train of thought. This was the last Star Wars movie to me. Hey, we need to find that dagger thing, and then we need to find this person, and then we need to find this place where another person is, and in between laser shots where nothing was at stakes. Terrible sound design, extremely loud action, unclear dialogue. I'm a sound designer and composer, and I 100% agree. Showing too much of the movie in the trailer. Less is more. I pretty much completely stopped watching trailers since Batman v Superman, and it has greatly increased the enjoyment in the theater. When they mix the sounds louder than the dialogue and you're wishing you were watching with subtitles. I swear I didn't used to have to hold the sound remote the entire time. What conspiracy theories actually make sense and could be true? The 10-year challenge on Facebook in 2018, which encouraged Facebook users to upload pictures from 2008, and a current one from 2018 was actually a front by programmers to gain data and examples to train facial recognition and age progression software. I know I'm going to get hella down thumbs for this, but all the masking over the last 2 years has drastically increased their ability to detect who you are with your face covered. All of the Olympic athletes were fully covered when they went through check-in using self-check-in cameras, and it knew exactly who each person was. Due to their track record, I believe almost all theories involving the CIA. Oh, but they would never do that. Yes, they would, and they would probably already did, and they probably admitted to it, but no one was paying attention. Chapstick companies put something in the chapstick that makes your lips more dry. Apparently this is true. Yay. Apparently this applies to skin creams and stuff too. A while back, someone told me to just stop using it and make sure I was drinking enough water. I did this and had chapped lips for a week or two, but then they went away, and now I'm going on year 4 or 5 without chapstick. I've only had a problem once, and it was out skiing for about 6 hours straight with no gaiter to cover my face. What profession was once highly respected but is now a complete joke? The town crier. I just get sad sometimes. You don't need to be mean. Oh geez, here we go again. We actually have one where I live. He appointed himself in the early 90s and still announces town events while wearing a silly hat and ringing a bell. It's kind of amazing. Are you from Stars Hollow or something? Milkman. Now they are just everyone's secret father. The mailman had taken over that responsibility. Now we've got the Uber Eats people doing that in the 21st century. A person comes up to you and says, I know what you did. What's the first thing that comes to mind? Then you weren't as drunk as me. That wasn't me, that was Patricia. Confusion. Very much confusion, because I hadn't done anything scandalous. I go to work and I go home. Sometimes I go to the grocery store. I wish I wasn't quite a goody two-shoes, but here I am, boring. So what did I do? I have no idea. You're gonna need to be more specific. Ominous undertones aside, I feel like this would probably be my response regardless. Most people have done plenty of things in their lifetime, good and bad, and everything in between. If you don't specify which thing you're referring to, I'm not really going to have a frame of reference of where this conversation is going. Which name says this kid's parents are probably insufferable people. I went to school with a girl called Versace McClatchy. Her sister was named Prada. Her whole family was unbearable. I met a kid named Scott once, except it was Scott. Had to swallow down some vomit there. Went to school with a set of triplets named Mercedes, Lexus, and Porsche. Couldn't afford a car, so she named her daughter Alexis. What's the worst rule in bro code a guy can break? My friend's best friend slept with this girl a couple of times. Denied, then got caught. Friendships all over. Everyone was friends for 20 plus years. Okay, multiple times is pretty bad, but I one time woke up with my roommate's GF in my bed. She was super drunk and stumbled into my room instead of his, and God doesn't suck being innocent in that situation, and no, I'm believing you. This was like 10 years ago, and to this day, I do not know if he ever ended up believing me. Bro, close your eyes, bro. What do you see, bro? Nothing, bro. When a bro borrows the bro tank and leaves the fuel gauge on empty, that's not a true bro. What is the worst crime a celebrity has committed and has seemingly been forgiven by the general public? Marcos Alonso, Chelsea footballer, drove drunk speeding, crashed and killed a young woman. He got a suspended sentence, a small fine, and a short driving ban. There's a real reason rival football fans chant, Marcos Alonso, you know what you did. Steven Tyler convinced the parents of a 14-year-old groupie to sign over her guardian rights to him, essentially adopting her and then dating her at the same time. But wait, there's more. He eventually gets her pregnant and then forces her to get an abortion. I don't know if any criminal action was taken against him, but it's still super messed up. I've been told that she was 16 years old and not 14. I've since Googled it and sees both ages listed in several places, and I'm not sure at what age it all happened. Not that being 16 makes it any better. This edit is for the sake of having correct information. Based. Karl Malone impregnated a 13-year-old at the age of 20, also refused to pay $125 a week in child support, and I'm not sure if it was this child or from another woman, but most people still remember him as being the mailman from the 90s. You'd be proud of r/NBA. Anytime Malone comes up, 99% of the comments are about Malone being a pedo. We aren't letting people forget about that one. What is something that drastically improved your mental health? Sleep. Also, learning not to stress about not sleeping when you're lying in bed and rather just getting comfy and letting it happen. Currently struggling with that as we speak. Lol. Just be cool with it. Since I've stopped getting angry every time I wake up, I fall back asleep a bit easier. Of course, that's not the magic, but not caring help. Get up, go pee, come back, and just chill. Silencing my activity on social media and replacing my time spent on there by reading books instead. I finished 6 books since the start of January. I feel so good about myself because of it. Being honest and transparent about how I'm feeling. I'm not mad at you. My brain just hates me right now. Has helped me mitigate lots of fights and awkward conversation. I'm not mad at you. I'm just mad at the situation. Game changing. What scientific fact or theory scares you to your bones? There have already been 5 mass extinction level events, and cockroaches survived all of them. Well, we'll make sure to take them down with us this time. Oh god. Naegleria fowleri, brain-eating amoeba, has 97% fatality rate and it's immune to most antibiotics. This is why you always use cool but recently boiled water for nasal rinses. Quite a common one, but space is so big. Like, bigger than the amount that we can observe. Gives me the chills. Space, let me repeat, is enormous. The average distance between stars out there is 20 million miles. Even at speeds approaching those of light, these are fantastically challenging distances for any traveling individual. Of course, it is possible that alien beings travel billions of miles to amuse themselves by planting crop circles in Wiltshire or frightening the daylights out of some poor guy in a pickup truck on a lonely road in Arizona. They must have teenagers after all, but it does seem unlikely. Bill Bryson, A Short History of Nearly Everything. What happened during an interview that immediately made you realize you wouldn't take the job no matter how much they offered you? 3 of 4 people who interviewed me spent the entire time talking about how bad the company was and why I really don't want the job. The 4th was the CEO. His story was different. I didn't take the job. Good HR. I tried getting a job as a telemarketer once. The interviewer had me go into another room and call her, and she would pretend to be a person I'm trying to get money from. I started into the script and she said, "Oh, but I'm just a poor college student with no money." Even though I knew she was just pretending, I still felt terrible. I knew that I could never do that work in real life. I told her that my coming there was a bad idea and I had to leave. The call center is only good where the clients are calling you. The other way, it's 99% a scam. I've been working for it for more than 2 years, the good ones, I mean. Back when I was unemployed long term, I was applying for roles anywhere I could really find. Got an interview for a retail position. Not great, but better than nothing. First interview is a group one. I get through that fine. Second interview is with the manager of the store. He spends like 10 minutes telling me how shit my resume is. You manage a retail store. I'm sure yours looks pretty similar. What's your, "Sir, this is a Wendy's" moment? My wife was doing an interview and the interviewer asked her how she would handle a situation if there was an elephant in the room. Not being familiar with the phrase, she proceeded to describe in detail all of the things she would consider to help get the elephant out of the room. The interviewers allowed her to finish and she didn't realize it until she told me about it later. Honestly, with this weird ass clever question from the interviewers like to use, is, I wouldn't be surprised if they meant literal elephant. Not me, my daughter. She answered the phone appropriately. Radiology. Guy on the phone was looking for some test results, but she couldn't find his name or his wife's name anywhere. Long, confusing call. Finally, she asked for the name of the animal. What animal? I'm asking about my wife's tests. Sir, this is a veterinary hospital. I actually work at Wendy's and someone tried to use an Arby's coupon. I worked at A&W and someone gave me a McDonald's coupon for a Big Mac. Sir, I literally can't make this for you. You ain't got no Thousand Island dressing back there. What show was amazing until they ruined the ending? Arrested Development. They were canceled halfway through their third original season. However, that did inspire some great writing and jokes to speed it along and somewhat break the fourth wall, specifically the episode where they throw the charity dinner. Narrator, please tell your friends about our show. And I can't forget all the boom mics appearing on screen. Man in the High Castle. Premise was fascinating, world building was incredible, and acting was on point. They needed to wrap it up quickly and picked a faction no one ever heard of to be this unstoppable force that clearly overpowered main factions couldn't handle. It sucked. Came here looking for this show. I just hated how they ended that. My name is Earl. It wasn't the show's fault. NBC told them there would be a 5th season, and ending the 4th with a cliffhanger would be fine. Viewers deserved a proper ending for that show and its characters. NBC took that away. How ironic is it that this post gave me a lot of karma? Lol. Greg Garcia described in an AMA how he planned to end the series. It's a shame we never got to see it, but reading how it was supposed to go did give me some closure. Sucks that it was canceled like that. It's seriously one of my favorite shows. If World War III gets officially declared, what is the first thing you would do? Go to work, I guess. Wonder why all the stores are out of toilet paper. Because when shit hits the fan, you gotta clean it up somehow. The shit hits the fan by the will of a single man. Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world. Calm down, Putin. Putin in the brain. Oh, and we're done. And that's gonna be it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching.